This program is presented by University of California Television. Like what you learn? Visit our website or follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the latest UCTV programs.
UCLA is a university with unlimited possibilities for students that desire world-class academics and research, unmatched diversity, incredible cultural and social opportunities, successful alumni and career networking, first-class campus facilities, plus America's top intercollegiate sports teams. Located in Westwood, just a few miles from the Pacific Ocean, UCLA's 1 square mile campus is surrounded by famous cities such as Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and Santa Monica.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Westwood for another edition of UCLA Bruin Talk. I'm Dave Marcus, pleased to be joined by Allison Taylor. One of the great things about UCLA's fabulous success in the spring sports this year, it makes that summer off season that much shorter. It's almost time to get back to it, and we're going to look ahead as we turn our attention to 2013 to 2014.
Before we meet our first guest, let's take a look at the upcoming events.
One of the UCLA teams that had great success last year, going all the way to the NCAA semifinals, was women's tennis. They played them at Urbana, Illinois, and Courtney Dolhide's from Illinois. Courtney, that had to be really fun going back home to play in the tournament.
It was great. I mean, NCAA's is always really fun, regardless of where it is, but the fact that, you know, we were back in Chicago and back near where I'm from, and it had been so long since I was, you know, back there, it just made it all the better. I got to see my family and friends, which was great. So.
Now you're from Hinsdale. Urbana is out in the middle of the cornfield somewhere, but they all made the trip down?
Yeah, my grandparents, my close friends, my coach, and he's been my coach since I was 10 years old, so that was great. He used to, you know, come to every single match that I had, and like was there every single practice, and hadn't seen me play for a full year, so it was really awesome having him there. And my grandparents, it was great, and my brother brought one of his friends, which was awesome. It was just great having so much support. I think that that's critical at the NCAAs.
I know you and your partner Pamela Montez had incredible success in the doubles this past season. How important is chemistry to a doubles match? It has to be, you have to know what each other's thinking at all times.
Yeah, I think it's critical. I mean, obviously I've played with so many people throughout like my career, and I've always had the most success with people that I'm friends with, or people that you don't even necessarily. Pamela and I happen to be really good friends, which makes things really easy, but you just have to understand how somebody moves on the court, and like you have to be able to trust them, and that's pretty rare, I would say. So I think that we were really lucky that, you know, out of the 8 girls on the team, we really clicked. And I think that despite maybe early losses in the season, this season and last season when we played together, I think that when it came down to NCAAs, we really like had each other's players back on the court, and I think that like we really kind of pulled through.
Does doubles get short shrift? You never see it on TV, although the Bruin brothers winning Wimbledon, they got on a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot of people play doubles. It's really fun to play, but a lot of the focus is on singles. How come you think doubles gets overlooked?
You know, I've thought a lot about this, and the NCAA is having a lot of discussion about different rule changes, and so conversations about doubles and how much time should be dedicated to it has come up. And I think, first of all, the Bruin brothers' success has really helped doubles. I think before them, it was like even less popular than it is now. But you're right in the fact that like most women that play tennis, or most like ladies groups, or even young kids, they like start out playing doubles and all of that. But I mean, I think when you're there in person, people really do enjoy watching it. But then when you think of tennis as a sport, you just automatically think of singles. I think a lot of that might have to do, you know, with our role models in the past, just like Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras, our coaches, Stella Sampras, her brother. They've all been amazing singles players, and so when you think of tennis, that's what you think of. But we're lucky to now have the Bruin brothers, who just dominated Wimbledon and are dominating the like pro circuit. So that's, I think, great.
And Venus and Serena, pretty good doubles team too.
Yeah, they are.
Well, next year, there are going to be a ton of key players returning to this team, including yourself, Robin Anderson, Kyle McPhillips. You've got to be looking forward to being in that senior leadership role and leading this team, hopefully, towards a national championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm so confident with the group of girls that we have on the team next year, and I think that we're just a really close team, and I think that, you know, we just want it so bad, and I'm so excited to be in that position, because I really think that like we're gonna have a good year, and I want to be a part of that.
Courtney, it's got to seem surreal to be a senior. You're one of the leaders now. How are you going to impart what you've learned to the younger players coming in?
I mean, I think just I'm going to try to lead by example. Like I've learned a lot about like different types of ways to like lead people, in different types of ways to talk to different players. And I think that like this past year, I was one of the oldest ones. It was Pam and I, so I feel like I got some experience this past year working on my leadership. And I think that for me, just, you know, focusing on leading by example is important. And I think the girls on the team are just really hard workers and like really have passion for the game. So it's not a tough task.
Tennis is an interesting sport in that you play a lot of tournaments before you get to college. You were on some of the pro circuit tournaments when you were, what, 15 years old? What was that experience like?
That I could talk about forever. It was a great experience. I was really fortunate to have the right like leadership from my coach and my family to pursue those types of tournaments before college, because I think that even aside from really developing my tennis game, I think that it just helped me as a person, because I was traveling by myself virtually for my senior year of high school. I did online schooling, and so I was really just traveling the whole year from place to place, like El Paso, Texas, to like actually nice places, and then eventually Flushing Meadows for the US Open, which was great. But I think that it's really invaluable experience. Like I learned so much.
Well, you had to learn how to handle yourself off the court as well as on, didn't you?
Right. You know, since I was at all of these tournaments by myself, I like really, there was the tennis aspect to it, but there also was the whole like checking yourself into a hotel and just things that might seem simple when you're an adult, but when you're 15, 16 and just learning how to like budget your like own money, it was difficult, and I think that I like grew up really quick through that experience.
Then you get to college, and it's a much more supportive environment, isn't it?
Right, very supportive, and even like from all the academic help and all of the different counseling that we have in the athletic department to just actual like on tennis or on court support, like with the crowd and with our coaches cheering, and you really don't even have to generate your own atmosphere. The energy is already there for you, and that's something that's interesting, because talking to some of my friends that have just recently graduated and are now deciding whether they're going to pursue, you know, a pro career or just like put in their rackets for good, and they're, you know, struggling with the fact that on the pro circuit, you really do have to generate all of your own energy, and you're playing for your livelihood. And so it's a different pressure, but I mean, I'm excited for this next upcoming year in the college environment. And then after, I think that it'll be a great opportunity and really exciting.
You just touched on it a little bit in that answer, but I was going to ask you, how hard is it to transition from being in that such an individual environment when you're 15, 16 years old to having that team there supporting you during your matches on and off the court?
I think it's really interesting because I don't think I fully appreciated it until this year, because like my first 2 years, it was kind of like it was something new that I was adjusting to, and it you know, wasn't the most natural thing. I don't think it is natural for an individual like tennis player who's been playing, you know, by themselves tournaments for 8 to 9 years to then like you're thrown into a team, and it's something completely different. But then like I've grown to love it, and it's just amazing like having just such a support staff. And now I just can't wait for the season to start, even though, you know, it's summer and you're supposed to be like loving it and everything, which I am really enjoying my time in LA this summer. But I can't wait for the fall, because it just makes training so much easier. You know, when you're running your last sprint and your teammate is next to you, and you know that their success is your success. And whereas in the past, people that I would train with, I'm going to be competing with like tomorrow. So it's like, I want you to do well, but I secretly like really need to be faster than you. And so it's really great. And just being a senior, I think that that's part of the joy of being a senior, is now I finally like feel like I've experienced the good side of college tennis, and that's what I'm going to hope that I can help the freshmen and sophomores on the team experience.
Once you finished NCAAs last year, did you just put the racket in the closet for a while?
Not a while. I mean, like 2 to 3 weeks usually, and I think that that's a really good mental break, just especially after how high you get during NCAAs, to then go into the summer months where it's, you know, individual training again, and you feel like you have a full year until like the excitement starts back up. I think it's really good to just put the rackets down for a little bit and just run or do training, but just keep the rackets away.
Studies have charted how much a player runs, especially in a singles match during an average match. It's miles. Do you use the summer to build up the endurance, the cardiovascular? You talked about running sprints. A lot of people don't think of tennis training as running sprints, but is that a valuable part of your summer program? Oh,
definitely. I think that the more you can utilize the summer for that, the better, just because when school starts, it's hard to individualize your training, and I think that we are practicing so much, sometimes it's hard to find the energy and the time with schoolwork and everything to do the extra sprints or the extra things that you specifically need to work on. So for me, I need to do different footwork drills, and so during the summer I can really use that time. And yeah, tennis, you really physically expend yourself on the court, and I think that sprints are critical.
It's going to be a while till graduation, but have you thought about your path? What exactly is going to happen after you leave UCLA?
I've thought a lot about it. It seems to be that I'm always thinking about it, but I think that there's a lot of different things that I'm interested in. So I'm really just trying to see and feel different things out. Like I'm really interested in law. I love talking, on camera, so media things I'm also interested in. So we'll see how this year goes and where it takes me.
You have worked with Stella Sampras Webster for a couple of years. Any thoughts of going into coaching sometime?
Yeah, I mean, that would also be fun. I have 2 younger sisters that play tennis, and so last summer when I was home in Chicago, I actually went to all of their tournaments with them and got to really coach them through it. And I think it's really fun to be able to share the experiences that I've had and help other young players through it. And also, I think I do just like coaching because my brother plays golf also, but I also enjoy just going with him to the course or his tournaments and just kind of talking him through the mental side of things, because I think especially in tennis and also in golf, I think that the mental side is huge, and it's tough if you're just in your own head. Sometimes you need somebody there.
Well,
that
does he appreciate it? Golfers are strange when they get on the course.
He definitely has his own routines, but he definitely does appreciate and respect like the experience that I have. And I think sometimes he will not directly ask for advice, but he is kind of looking for me to help him out and say some things. And he actually was in a tournament yesterday, and I was texting him throughout it, and he got second place, which is great. So
Congratulations, Coach. Well, Courtney, thanks for coming in and talking with us. LA's glad to have you this summer, and we look forward to a great year for you as the next tennis season gets underway.
Thanks.
And we're going to come right back with more UCLA Bruin talk after this brief public service announcement.
A trophy can be made just about anywhere. But there's one place where champions are made. UCLA, champions made here.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Bruin Talk. It is now time to honor our Athlete of the Week. This week, we honor the UCLA baseball team as our Athletes of the Week. The UCLA Bruins won the 2013 College World Series and brought home UCLA's first ever baseball national title. UCLA defeated Mississippi State 8-0 in the second game of the College World Series. Baseball's postseason win streak included 10 straight wins in the postseason. The Bruins ended the season with a record of 49-17. This win earns UCLA a total of 109 national titles. Congratulations to the UCLA baseball team. We wish you luck in the seasons to come. If you would like additional information about UCLA athletics, please visit our website at uclabruins.com.
And great congratulations also to Adam Plutko, most valuable player of the tournament, and head coach John Savage, named National College Baseball Coach of the Year. And by the way, if you go to uclabruins.com, you'll notice the relaunch of the website. It's much more user-friendly, especially if you're on a mobile device. If you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, I'm always on my mobile device checking it out, and it's very good. Well, you talk about great programs at UCLA. Soccer is right up there at the top of the list. Starting his 10th year as coach of the Bruins is Jorge Salcedo. The Bruins have won the Pac-12 championship 4 of the last 5 years, including last year, and they are looking to a great 2013-2014. And Coach, you don't have a lot of time to wait. You're one of the first teams to get going again. You're playing next month.
Yeah, and we can't wait. You know, we can't wait for August the 13th to arrive and to be here and to get started.
You're going on the road a couple of weeks later, playing Notre Dame in Bloomington, Indiana, and then playing Indiana.
Right.
You're not starting out easy.
Yeah, Notre Dame last year, they were one of the top teams in the country the entire season. They had one of the top 4 seeds in last year's tournament. Indiana, obviously, the national champions from the 2012 season. So we're starting out pretty strong.
Well, let's talk about playing a tough out-of-conference schedule. What benefit does that get you down the road?
Yeah, it's been my philosophy really ever since I've been here at UCLA. I really believe that our guys want to compete against the best. I want to see how we stack up against the best teams in the country. We don't shy away from any opponent. You know, last year we started here at home against New Mexico, then went on the road to Maryland and Virginia, and we won one of those games on the road, and it really, I thought, set our season off in the right direction. And so it gives us a lot of confidence to go out and get the right result. It gives us a good measuring stick as to where we're at the beginning, early on in the season, getting ready to head into our conference season.
Dave mentioned in the intro that you're going into your 10th season here at UCLA, and you're talking about your philosophy with regards to out-of-conference play, but how have your coaching methods and strategies kind of changed? They have to have evolved over these last 10 years.
Absolutely. You know, that's the beauty of coaching, and especially in soccer, that you can learn something every year. You can acquire new skill sets. You can take new methodologies and try and apply them to your team year in and year out. So, you know, the biggest thing, I think, is just the confidence in what we do as a program and how we set ourselves out from the preseason to our first exhibition matches, to our non-conference games, to our conference games, how we prepare for those games, what we do on a daily basis, and just having more confidence in what we do, getting our guys ready for an entire season.
Soccer can be such a cruel sport. Being the best team doesn't always guarantee the result. Yeah. And last year the Bruins dominant in the conference. You win it again in the tournament, second round, a defeat.
Right.
How long did it take the guys to rebound from that and start looking forward to this year?
You know, it's something that still, I think, sticks in our craw a little bit, where we're disappointed by the way we ended the season. Ironically, it was one of the better seasons we had. We only lost 2 games in the entire season. Had, I think, one of the toughest schedules we've had in the past 5 years. But unfortunately, you know, you need a little bit of luck in the tournament. And I think 2 of our top players in the 2012 season, unfortunately, were injured. Matt White couldn't play on the night. We had to pull him and scratch him at the last minute. Victor Chavez had hurt his hamstring, and so you know those 2 things threw us off a little bit. We didn't have a great game. We were physically tired, but you know at the end of the day, there's no excuses. You got to find a way to get results, and you know in 2012 we did by getting to the College Cup, and we have a team that's really motivated. I think a team that is going to play with a little chip on the shoulder because we were really disappointed and somewhat embarrassed by the way the season ended. So the guys have worked extremely hard in the off-season. The guys have dedicated themselves throughout the spring season, and definitely now in the summer, guys are getting after it to get themselves ready.
During the summer, of course, your players are scattered all over the country, and as you mentioned, you're getting back together in mid-August and you start playing matches in late August. Right. How do you kind of keep tabs on the guys and how their workouts are going, and how do they work out when they're not together with their teammates?
You know, we give them, one of my assistant coaches, Nick Carlin-Voigt, he does a really good job of preparing a plan and a calendar for them for the entire 8 weeks that they're away from us. We physically can't do anything with them. We can't see them. We can't really keep tabs on them besides holding them accountable through just emails and texts, making sure that they're doing what they need to do. They need to check in with us every week and tell us their times and things like that. And so it's a neat way for us to interact with them and for them to know that we care about what they're doing on a daily basis, because you know soccer, there's so much physical activity involved in a game where you know an average soccer player runs anywhere between 4 to 6 miles a game, and so our guys have to be prepared for that physically.
You've now been a part of 2 of UCLA's national championships, one as an assistant coach and one also as a player. And what's the experience like to be a part of both of those? It's got to be a different sense of rewarding.
Absolutely. You know, it's exciting when you win a national championship, exciting when you win a Pac-12 championship. You know, we've won 4 of the last 5 years. Since I've been here in the past 10 years, we've won 7 in 10 years, and those are exciting moments to win those titles. But the ultimate prize is to win a national championship, and as a player in 1990 was an incredible feeling because you put your heart, mind, and soul into winning games and winning a national championship, and so that was a great feeling. Winning as an assistant coach was a really good feeling as well, because you're so happy for the guys, and really, you know, as a head coach, you're the steward of the entire program, and you want nothing more than for your guys to be successful on and off the field. And for us at UCLA, winning national championship is always a goal, and so year in and year out, from August 13th or August 15th, whenever we get together, we understand that's the goal, but we also understand it's a process. And so I've been fortunate to understand how to get there as a player and also as an assistant coach, and we've gotten close as me being the head coach a couple times, and every year that's our goal, to get there to the national championship.
Coach, your resume is illustrious. An All-American at UCLA, an assistant coach, national championship, played 5 years in the MLS. Right. As a head coach, recruiting is a huge part of it, and you've got the #1 recruiting class in the country coming in. Right. Tell us the keys to attracting top recruits here to UCLA.
Yeah, you know, it's at the end of the day, that's to me the most important aspect of our job, is to bring in the right talent, to bring in the right personalities, bring in kids that have the right mentality, kids that want to continue to work and strive to be the best they can be. And so that's what we do in the recruiting process. And my assistant coach, Nick Carlin and Eddie Soto, do a really good job going and finding the top players in the country, and then we'll vet them out and figure out which ones will fit in our system, fit in our program, have the qualities that we need. We like players that have really high technical ability, guys that can pass the ball and move with the ball and things like that. And so, you know, our ability to bring those players in is extremely important. And so we've been very fortunate in my tenure here to have some of the top recruiting class in the country. But it's also a catch-22 as well, that we bring in such good players that they also leave fairly early. You know, over the past couple years, we've lost our most dynamic attacking players to the MLS, and so sometimes we'll have have them for a year, sometimes we'll have them 2 years, and unfortunately, more times than not, we don't have them for 4 years. And so we have to continue to recruit. Sometimes we over-recruit just because we need to get the top players. And to answer your question, I mean, at the end of the day, it's those families trusting our coaching staff that we're going to take care of their young boys, that we're going to take care of them while they're here at UCLA, that they can entrust us, that we're going to care for them the right way.
Eddie Soto spent the summer coaching beach soccer. You ever play any beach soccer?
No, beach soccer is too taxing for me. It's a really challenging sport.
Yeah. You've got some talent coming back. You mentioned Victor Chavez. He's back. Reed Williams. Joe Sophia, defender who can jump up into the play and score. You've got a good base coming back this year.
Very good base. We're really excited about the group that's coming back. You know, we have Victor Chavez, Victor Munoz, Reed Williams, Leo Stoltz. We have, obviously, Joe Sophia, Earl Edwards in goal. We have a couple transfers that have come in. A really top defender, Aaron Simmons, who's come from SMU. We have one of the top ACC freshmen from Syracuse. He's originally from New Zealand. His name is Jordan Vale. So we have guys that we've been able to bring in through the transfer market per se, but also to
without paying the millions of dollars in fees like in the professional levels.
Fortunately, we didn't have to pay. But you know, between the recruits we have coming, the class we have coming back, a couple of the transfer have come in, we have a really talented group, and it's just figuring out what's going to be the best formula for them, where we plug certain guys, and so that's the beauty of my job, is within 17 days to get ready to play Notre Dame.
Soccer is a sport where the players have to know the system. They have to have a sixth sense of where the teammate is without even looking. Right. That's got to be a challenge, bringing in so many new faces every year and only having a couple of weeks to work before you start playing.
Yeah, like I said, you know, there's certain systems that we'll always implement, and first and foremost is our ball possession and our ability to keep the ball, because when we have the ball, that means the other team can't score. And so I'm really proud of the fact that year in and year out, the majority of our games, I'd say between 90 and 95% of our games, we dominate possession in games, and that's really important. And so from the get-go, that's something that we really push and emphasize, is our ability to keep the ball. In soccer, for the average fan, they'll see just the ball and one or two players, but soccer is a sport where there's continuous movement on and off the ball, and so those are the things that we really implement during preseason.
We've talked about the strong class coming in, the transfers, the freshmen, the key core of returning players. But what are fans going to see from the UCLA Bruins this next season? What are they going to expect?
You know, like I said at the beginning of our conversation, that I think we're going to see a team that plays with a little bit of chip on their shoulder. You know, we've always been a team that people identify as being pretty and keeping possession and having the ball more times than not. But I think you'll see a team that has a little bit of an edge as well, and that's what we've talked about throughout the spring. And that's what the work we've done, is to give us a bit more of a tougher, stronger mentality, because I thought at the end of the year last year, physically wilted a little bit. We had to play 4 games in basically 12 days because of the Pac-12 television schedule, and that made us limp into the playoffs. And so we've tried to remedy that, where that doesn't become an issue this next season. So I think fans are going to see a team that keeps the ball, a team that circulates the ball from side to side, and a team that wants to score goals, because that's the way you win. You're
going to be on the Pac-12 network 11 times next year. Right. That's a great showcase for the program, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have to get on my South Beach diet for those games.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you coming in. Wish you the best of luck this year. Continued success for the Bruins and for you, and hope you have a great season.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we hope you have a great season, too. It'll start pretty soon. That's going to do it for this edition of UCLA Bruin Talk. Alongside Allison Taylor, I'm Dave Marcus, thanking you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Until then, so long from Westwood.